cualquier súper consagrado, con una grandísima reputación, les pueda asegurar.
First of all, don't believe anything she says.
Los próximos 10 años.
But do it in 20 minutes.
Pero lo voy a explicar en 20 minutos.
Okay? So, here we go.
Pues vamos a empezar.
To understand
Para comprender la
advertising, you need to
publicidad
look
tenemos
back,
que mirar al pasado.
really far back. So
Muy al
this is
pasado.
the first billboard,
Por ejemplo, esta es la primera valla publicitaria.
right?
¿Les gusta?
Discovered in
Se
Pompeii,
descubrió en Pompeya.
two gladiators advertising
Es
to
un
come
anuncio
to their
de dos
gladiatorial
gladiadores.
games.
Por si quería
First
venir a ver
medium
a
of
los gladiadores.
advertising really was
Es
the
el primer
billboard.
anuncio que hay registrado en la
Right?
historia.
1,500 years go by,
Pasan unos
and
cuantos
nothing really
años, como
changes
pueden ver,
until the
desde
next
50 se
technology,
produce el primer cambio
innovation,
tecnológico, la
movable
primera
type,
innovación.
and the printing press
Gutenberg y la imprenta.
creates paper.
La
And you
imprenta
have
y
the
el
first
papel, por
newspaper
supuesto,
in the United
y
States.
tenemos el primer periódico en
Okay, you can see the
1700.
first print act
Y
in
nos
the United
encontramos el
States
primer
308 years
anuncio
ago.
en el periódico.
Okay, so
En Boston,
technology
en el
forces
Boston
that
Chapter,
that
la
needed to change.
tecnología nos permite estos cambios.
Another 150 years go by and you have radio. Okay, technology forces another innovation in advertising. For the first time, you can actually reach a mass audience at a mass scale. Yeah? Just to stop for a second, does anyone recognize who this advertiser is?
Esta marca, ¿saben qué marca es?
One of the biggest
Es
advertisers
uno de
today.
los anunciantes más
Started
importantes
on
hoy día.
radio. What's that? Procter & Gamble.
Procter & Gamble, efectivamente.
They need some help in their creative department.
Necesitaban un mejor diseñador gráfico en aquella época.
Okay? 50 years go by, and TV is invented, and now for the first time, you can reach a mass audience, but in a targeted way. So women at home during the day, agencies create soap operas.
Y, por ejemplo,
Right?
tenemos la
And
creación
then
de los
in the
biberones.
late 1990s, you have the internet. And for the first time, that technology allows you to reach a mass audience, but in a targeted way. Okay?
Esta evolución durante los
When we get to the last 10 years, now we've got Xbox, Kindle, connected TV, iPhone, iPad. Technology is forcing these medium changes every single year. It's pretty incredible, right? All of these companies are integrating themselves. How's this mic, by the way? Is this okay? Yeah? Okay. Right? They're all integrating themselves. Okay? So technology forces these changes on us, and when you look back at just what's happened in the last 8 years with two different popes, and by the way, this won't be translation, Papa. I love that. That was it's like the greatest thing in the world. Hey, Papa! Okay, that's good. Right? So right? Look at this guy over here. 2005, what's going on? Awesome, first of all. Look at this device. How does that fit in your pocket, right? 8 years later, we now move completely to smartphones, tablets, etc. So when the next big pop-up comes along, think about what the next set of devices are going to be. Right?
Piensen qué dispositivos estaremos utilizando entonces.
Okay. So when we look at advertising, we want to understand where the money is going. This is an example in print. For 303 years, okay, print was a tremendous ability to reach consumers. In 10 years, print has dropped $68 billion in the U.S. in terms of a yearly rate. So in 3% of the time, it's lost 70% of the ad spend on a yearly basis. Over 300 years. That's how fast advertising can change to follow the eyeball. Radio is a little different, but Tony, maybe something similar. TV, still unclear what's going on with TV, but obviously something's happening. But then we get to digital. Anyone want to guess what's going on with digital? That's a great sound effect. Can we try that again? Ready? That's the sound digital makes. Okay. We now have digital advertising, okay? That's incredible growth. It's now bigger than radio, bigger than print, and it's going to be bigger than TV very shortly, okay? So another way to put this in perspective is to think about 10 years into the past, okay? 10 years in the past, all of online advertising in the United States was $7 billion. Exactly. Peanuts. That's nothing, right? This year, display advertising alone will be $8 billion. Okay? And then when you look at the entire space, digital will be 6 times as much in 10 years. So pretty incredible perspective. So it's a very exciting time. If you work at an agency and the average age of the digital marketer is 28, I'm 28. Right? Okay. So for me, it's perfect. This is one of the greatest opportunities of the last 100 years to be at an agency. And all of you guys should be incredibly excited. Because you're no longer talking about silos of advertising. You're talking about all of advertising in one place. And figuring out how to be most effective for your clients. Okay? Catches, what do you do next? Okay? So here's how we look at what to do next in terms of the playbook for the near future. I'm going to step away from those mics. Okay? The first thing, understand the consumer state. So make sure you know what the consumer is doing at any given point in time. Forget about the device, forget about the channel. Understand the consumer activity. Come back to that in a minute. Cross-channel campaigns. Stop thinking in silos. We constantly talk to agencies and advertisers, and they have one team running social, one team running video, one team running display, one team running TV, one team running radio. It's one team. I know you guys have done the integration, I think, in your agency. That's fantastic. Because once you've done integration, you can run cross-channel campaigns. Third thing, you finally will be able to reach your audience on a one-to-one mass scale. People have been talking about one-to-one advertising for 30 years, and I'm going to show you an example of how you actually can do it today. It's going to be pretty exciting. Okay, here we go. Mapping to the consumer state. This, I don't know if this is Spain, but in the 1980s, this is the average American consumer sitting in front of the TV, watching All in the Family. 70 million people tuned in on an average Tuesday night in February. Average Tuesday night. Not American Idol finale, not the Super Bowl, just a boring Tuesday night. Really? Like, that many people just watching TV? Absolutely. This is what it looks like today. Yes? I hope Apple does a better job than that. That's not good. Okay. So you have all these devices. So the question is, what activity is the consumer now doing? Are they watching TV? Are they on their laptop? Are they looking at Google Glass? Are they consuming what? So we have to look at the research. Google did a study where they talked to 4,500 people when they're in a multi-state environment, and they said, what is the number one thing you're doing when you have more than one device and you're watching TV? Incredibly, email. Yeah. Email. That's sexy. This is like unbelievable, okay? So email, browsing, social networking, it's all these things that you don't realize that actually the consumer state is in a different kind of actual channel than you think you might be advertising into, okay? So, are there TV planners in the room, or formal TV, or integrated TV planners now? Anyone that buys TV? Okay, a bunch of people. So, Here's my question for TV planners. How many of you have put an email campaign and a TV campaign on the same IO? No way. Right? And I asked that in front of 500 agency people in the United States, and people like actually laughed at me. They thought it was funny. But when you step back for a second and you go, okay, I don't need to just think about linear broadcast, and I don't need to just think about cable. What is the consumer actually doing? If you pragmatically look at it, it makes a lot more sense. And so there's different ways to kind of think of just advertising in the silos that we've been used to for 50 years. Right? Mobile is another one. I constantly get asked by advertisers, I want to be in mobile. How do I get into mobile? It's so hot right now. It's like amazing. Well, first of all, I say, and this is important, mobile is a technology feature, not an advertising silo. If you think about it, if I'm at home on my couch for 3 hours on my tablet, why am I a mobile user? Right? Your wireless laptops here. Are you a mobile user? Really? Okay. So what about if I'm at Starbucks? Yeah? I don't know. It's hard to think about what you actually are just based on the size of the device or where you actually are. Another way to think about it is to go to the research again and say, what is the weekly and daily mobile and tablet activity? The Pew Research Center, again, email. Number one activity on mobile and tablets is email. Okay? In terms of advertising channels, they'll look at news sites, games, social networking. So when an advertiser says, I want to be in mobile, you say, great, give me your email creative, give me your pre-roll so I can run you in games, give me your social networking creative. Because that's the actual activity that the consumers are in. It doesn't matter about the device. I have a 60-inch TV at home, or 55, it keeps getting bigger every time I say it. Okay, but I put a wireless USB into it, and I put it on my back porch. So I have a 50-inch wireless device on my back porch. So I'm mobile, right? Come on, how cool would that be if I walked into a bar with like my giant TV, right? It's not mobile using. Okay, so think about the activity in the consumer state. This is another device that's recently come out, and I get very different answers, whether I'm in the US or Europe. Affluent early adopters, active usage, highly engaged audience. Raise your hand if you, don't say, but raise your hand if you know what this device is. Okay, so this is the Samsung Smart TV. Okay, so for the first time, you can go to a TV planner and say, I want to put your TV dollars on a home page in TV. Talk about like a brain meltdown. Wait, what? Your TV dollars on a home page in a TV. Huh, against the same audience that's watching TV? Like, that's why you have to be an integrated agency, right? Because the devices, the technology, everything is blurring the lines now. It's not clear to me what you call this anymore. I can't call it traditional or digital when you have a smart TV. It's just another way to reach an audience at home, right? And you can do it in lots of different ways. This is apps, so you can put pre-roll in front of all these apps. You can play different kinds of games. You can actually do social networking. So you can have social networking ads. You've got audio. You've got all kinds of different things you can do in smart TV. So the adoption isn't there yet, but every TV now shipping from every manufacturer is smart TV enabled. So over the next several years, it's going to be interesting to see how we adopt that form of advertising. The planning might look a lot different in the future. So remember that $60 or $70 billion? It doesn't just go straight to TV anymore. It potentially goes to smart TV. It potentially goes to other kinds of consumer activities that the user is doing while they're watching TV. The best planners in the world map to the consumer state, not to the advertising silo. Right? That's the way to think about it. I got a thumbs up. Okay. That's consumer state. That's playbook number 1, right? Second, cross-channel attribution. This is where we start to have a little bit of fun. I swear. Okay, we've had these advertising silos in the past because devices have been analog, content has been bundled, and advertising is based off of a 30-second spot. All of those things are now up for grabs. Every one of them is changing. You now have different devices, you have unbundling of content direct to consumer, and you have advertising that can be one-to-one. And what you get is, you get a cross-channel platform that looks across all of that and allows you to sequence the ads correctly. Okay? Most agencies usually work in a single channel or multi-channel world. Cross-channel is taking a single budget, 5 types of creative, and trying to reach a single cookie across all of those different channels. That's pretty exciting. Not a lot of agencies are doing that. But at the end of the day, you're trying to be most effective for your advertisers. So if it's not working in social, move the budget to display. If it's not working in display, move it to video. But do it dynamically and against a single cookie. That's pretty exciting. Because it allows you to unlock attribution. And attribution is going to be something that will change agency workflow forever. Okay? We're going to get a little bit deep into the agency business for one slide, and then we're going to go from there. Agencies traditionally have worked with advertisers to do strategy, planning, and buying, and then usually have partners to do execution, sales, and measurement. That's the typical workflow of the agency. For the first time, you've got new kinds of companies that when you connect them together, allow you to dramatically change the cycle times that you work with your advertisers on in terms of launching a product. So for the automotive industry, this process can be 2 years long. Financial services, 18 months to 12 months. When you start to use all these technologies together, you can get real-time point-of-sale optimization information back to your execution partners, and this potentially changes daily to monthly. You guys imagine doing strategy on a monthly basis? That's pretty exciting. And the only way you can do that is because you've got the data coming back in real time to give you guys the answers as to what is effective and what's not. So we're not there yet, but this is coming. And it's going to change the way agencies do business. And it's going to be incredible for the clients. Okay? That'll allow you to do full attribution on a single platform. So we are living in this world of Tom Cruise. Or Ronaldo. I don't know. Maybe I should have got him up there, right? So the third thing is one-to-one marketing. So why is attribution cross-channel important? Because we're living in a world that is not a single screen anymore. Okay? This is where we get to have the fun. So connected cars, supermarkets, appliances, right? The Ford Evos. You get your entire office in this car. It's video conferences. Does all kinds of things. You guys all familiar with the Tesco digital supermarket? No? So just for the people that haven't seen this is a digital supermarket on a billboard outside of a subway, and a guy gets off the train and he starts to buy everything he needs, and it's shipped to his house by the time he gets home. Wow, that's a long lag. Okay. Yeah? We all want one, don't we? So now, imagine you step out here and it recognizes your phone and it dynamically changes all of the products to just the 40 products you buy. Okay? So then imagine how much Coke would pay to be the 41st product in your personalized supermarket. So that literally changes hundreds of billions of dollars of advertising. So forget about the third screen, the fourth screen, the fifth screen. We live in an nth screen world. I don't even remember what the fourth screen was. You guys, I mean, it doesn't matter anymore, right? All of these screens are surrounding consumers. That's why you need to be able to do cross-channel. My final favorite screen is a screen that's in your bathroom. Has anyone tried this product yet? Okay, you ready? You step on it. I just had the spaghetti paella outside, by the way. You guys like that? Okay, so I think I don't know if I liked it that much, but anyway, it's going to weigh me. It's a scale. You step on it, and it posts your weight to your Facebook page. No? How much spaghetti paella did you eat? No? Could be good, could be bad. The end screen surrounding us, right? So we go one step further into the future, okay? So the consumers are now surrounded by an infinite number of screens, but there's one more technology that's coming, and that's Google Glass. Okay? So Google Glass is an interface, it's a pair of glasses. Does everybody know what it is now at this point? They've done a lot of marketing and stuff now. So it's a set of glasses. I've tried them on. It is impossible to be cool in Google Glass. Forget about it. Okay? It's like literally talking to yourself. It's not fun, trust me. Okay. But what is the advertising implications of Google Glass or some kind of wearable computing? Well, first of all, it has facial recognition, just like smart TVs, okay? So it has the ability to look out and sort of recognize what you're looking at. So I'm walking across the street, for example, and I see these two ladies, and, you know, it recognizes maybe who it is. So maybe I send her a friend request. The girls are like, no. The guy in the back's like, yes. Right? Pretty amazing, okay? Or what about gaming? Think about integrated gaming. So you want to play Xbox? Well, you could go and play Xbox out in the real world, for example. You know? Okay? You can run around Madrid. Right? It's an interface on your head, okay? But you're running around in the street and then, you know, you almost get hit by a car, of course, because you're chasing these aliens around. But your eye dwelled on that automobile longer than normal. And the glasses remembered 2 weeks ago, you went to a local dealership and you test drove the new BMW 5 Series. And you drove 1.5 miles and you spent 20 minutes test driving a BMW. So it says, okay, I know you're test driving, I know you're in market, and I think it's time to send you a conquest ad. Imagine how much Lexus would pay to advertise directly to every person that had just test drove a BMW in the last 3 days. 10,000 euro CPM? Does that sound about right? 100? I don't know. I want to see that eye out. Don't you want that eye out? $10,000 CPM, right? Pretty great. Okay. This one, shoppers. How many shoppers do we have? A lot of shoppers here. What's the main street? What's the main street of Madrid? What's it called? Okay. So you're walking down the Serrano? Okay, it sounds like meat. Serrano, yeah? Okay. Yeah? Oh, your main shopping district is meat. Okay. Interesting concept, okay? It's a meat market. Okay, I get it. So you're walking down the Serrano, you walk by a guy, and you just bought, a suit, right? But it recognizes this guy's wearing an Armani suit. And what they do is they say, okay, you know what? You're 0.3 miles from the nearest Armani store down the other end of the Serrano, okay? And I'm going to give you 5 minutes to cross the threshold of the store. Oh God. Wow, that was kind of blew that one. There we are. Okay, to cross the store, okay? And if you do that, I'll give you 40% off that suit. So just imagine now how many times you're going to see women and men walking down the Serrano, turn around and start running in the other direction. Seriously, 50% off Gucci, how fast are you going to run? Pretty fast, right? Okay? So this is the kind of thing you could do when you have this interface and you have the data and you have all the technology in place to offer one-to-one marketing in real time, but at a large scale. Okay? Branding opportunities are going to be incredible. Okay? So, Gucci good, Versace bad. Right? Okay? So it just starts to animate. I mean, you're just paying for, branding essentially. Or how about Coke? Coca-Cola says, I'm going to buy out every crosswalk in Madrid for the next 30 minutes. So you look down, every time you cross the street is Coke.
This is scary.
Scary. How about this? Instead of that, they're doing a face page takeover. I think your creative agency can do better than my graphic design. Right? Okay, so where does all this go? So remember, we had all these different kinds of advertising and all these different kinds of channels, okay? Right? Everyone says to me, TV is dead, radio is dead, newspapers are dead. You have to remember, none of them are dead. None of it just ends and never comes back. Don't ever let anybody say it's dead. It still works. It's still effective. What's happening is that it's evolving. It's evolving into a single form of digitally distributed content that advertising can be applied to. It's no longer all these different silos. You've got digital TV now. You've got digital print. You've got streaming audio. All of it is digitally distributed and therefore can have digital ads put against it. Right? So, just to close up, what does Adconion do? We service 77 of the top 100 advertisers in the world. We've been partners with you guys for a very long time. We have an integrated technology platform that gives you access to exclusive connected TV inventory and smart TV inventory with companies like Samsung and Philips. We have pre-roll video available in app developers through SmartClip, and we have thousands of publishers. Okay? Because the next time Papa comes into town, this is what it might look like, right? I don't know who the Pope is, right? But it's going to be these. It's going to look like this, or something like it. Another 8, 10 years, 20 years, I don't know. But at the end of the day, this is your time. You have one of the most exciting opportunities ever in advertising. These next 10 years, you're going to have one-to-one marketing at a mass scale across all kinds of traditional and digital media types. And we want to be your partner to help you make sure that you're most effective for your clients. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.